I can hear you, but I can't see anything.
Awesome. Perfect. Can you see my screen okay?
Perfect.
Alrighty. So tonight we are talking about again our second third call ever. So you guys, collective university is something that we have put together to come together as a community and as one. But this is where I want to be able to grow in our leadership, not only in our leadership, but grow in self, in our skill set, and also in our mindset, and identifying who we truly are and what it is that we truly desire. So collective prosperity firm, many hands, one vision. Collectively, we are here to prosper, but there are many of us on this call, and we each have two hands. So there's a lot of hands on this call right now, but we all have one vision, a vision to prosper, a vision to change the trajectory of our family tree, a vision to serve other people, and a vision to go out there and identify more of ourselves. So we're not just going by life, but we're actually living our life at the same exact time due to the identity and the discovery in self. All right. So without further ado, I want to give a big shout out to every single person on this call that aren't on this call either. For the month of July, we absolutely crushed it, you guys. We were the top agency of True Wealth, and each and every single one of you guys on this screen, or if you're not on this screen, please don't shoot me. Okay, just shoot me a text and say, "Hey, Kaitlynn, I don't know if you like. Here's a picture of me." Blame it on my head. Don't blame it on my heart. Okay. However, I want to give a big congratulations because each person, you guys, if you don't know, each person on this screen contributed to us being the number one agency of True Wealth. Each person on this screen is the reason why we were able to end out the month number one collective agency inside of True Wealth. So I want to congratulate everybody: Patricia, Bradley, Sherilyn. We have Nia, we have Precious, we have uh Jaden, we have Bernice, we have Bernita, we have Nikita, we have Larry, we have Aaliyah, we have Julie, and we have Jamila. So each and every single one of you guys, congratulations. And today I want to talk about mastering the skill and multiplying the results. So this is the topic for today. So if you want to write it down on your paper, but this is what has positioned me starting last year of November. Okay, November of last year, without having a team, by the way, without having overrides, without having a team, but on my own pen every single month as a single mom, one child who has a disability in a wheelchair every day that I have to put in a wheelchair, drive to my car, pick up the wheelchair, put it in the car, drive him to school, take the wheelchair out the car, wait for his parent to pick him up, go home, rush and work, get on Zoom, pick him up by 2:30, leave the house, wait for his wheelchair, put the wheelchair in the car, assist him in the home. Like I have literally a disabled child. Like cognitively, you guys, he's fine. Disability wise, he's physically in his legs disabled, right? So while all doing that, still being able to put 20 grand in my bank account every single month on my own pen, all by myself. So if your struggle on this call is income, if your struggle on this call is money, and maybe you don't have a struggle problem, maybe you don't have an income problem, but maybe you're tired of working 12-hour shifts to make this income. Maybe you're tired of like knowing, well, Kaitlynn just said like she don't even work a 9 to 5 style job. She don't do 12-hour, 8-hour shifts, right? But she's still able to figure out in the insurance industry by helping a family get a policy so Miss Betty doesn't have to take care of her sister Rachel's burial because Rachel didn't have coverage. That's all I'm doing, right? And that's all we do here. We are serving the masses with a product, and that product is life insurance. However, this industry allowed me to work from home. Now, some people like to go outside. Some people like to go in the field, but having a son who has seizures, who takes Keppra every day, who can't get around, who's in a wheelchair, I desire to be home. But I promise you, in no way, shape, or form is it impossible to create double the amount of income that you're in your 9 to 5, or our big boss, or my boss, which I forgot his name at Cheddar's, but he used to always tell me what to do, and I did not like it. And now I'm like, wow, here I am just 4 years later by deciding that I didn't want that for myself by deciding I wanted more for myself. So tonight, I'm going to teach you guys how I was able, starting November, haven't made any less monthly since then, on my own pin by calling clients and helping them with a policy, deposit more than 20 grand in my bank account monthly. If you don't believe me, after this call, just say, hey, Kaitlynn, I know I've been on a lot of Zoom calls and a lot of people be throwing out money numbers. Like, can you just show me it's possible? Like, I'm not trying to say I don't trust you, but can you just send me a screenshot so I can like see it's true? Like, I will send you a screenshot because I know there's a lot of people on social media that, oh, I made money. Like, where's the evidence, right? But if you guys need any evidence, just DM me after this call and I will put you guys in position. But this is the top of the month. It's August 3rd, okay? And that means that we want to be on the top of our game. So because of that, a new month is going to equal a clean state, okay? New month is going to equal focused energy to get the fast results. I promise you guys, if you just lock in and just say, hey, starting Monday, I'm going to commit to such and such because it's focused energy, it will give you fast results. Now, what you do this coming up week will determine what you earn this month because it's the top of the month. How you start is how you finish. How you start is setting the standard for how you're going to end. You don't ever want to have to wait for momentum, but you want to be able to create it. And I want to talk about why this matters right now because a lot of us on the call joined the insurance industry to make the income, to have the impact, and to have the lifestyle. But if I could be quite frankly and quite honest, wanting is not enough. What pays us in this business is not just wanting it, it's truly and honestly executing the fundamentals every single day. Does that make sense? Drop a 2 in the chat if you guys like, if that makes sense to you guys. Like, wanting it isn't enough, but what pays us in the business is not wanting it, but it's executing the fundamentals daily, right? Like LeBron James and Shaq and, all these very top basketball players and football players, they practice the fundamentals every day. Every single day they were practicing the fundamentals. And guess what? Our pipeline resets at the beginning of every month. I'm not sure if you know that, but I'm going to be the partner in the business that keeps it 100 with you guys. Every single month in this business, my pipeline resets, okay? Because my opportunity resets. My momentum starts with what I do this week. So that's what I say to myself. My pipeline resets. I already assisted 20, 27 family, 25, 27 families last month. That pipeline is dead. I cannot rewrite them another policy this month unless they fall off the books and I call them and say, hey, I noticed you missed your payment. Is there anything that I can do to help? Oh, I didn't know it didn't come out. They were supposed to take it out on the 3rd. They do that sometimes. And no worries. Let me get it fixed up real quick. I just sent you a link. Did you get that link? Okay, just sign that again. I just rewrite them another policy. Boom. Right? But other than that, those 27 families I wrote up last month for for July, my pipeline with them is over with. But at this month, I have to create a new pipeline. That is something in any sales industry you have to understand. We are in sales. Life insurance is sales. Medicare is sales. Real estate is sales. Car car dealership is sales. If my dealership guy sold me a Mercedes Benz last month, I'm not in his pipeline for the month of August. Unfortunately, he has to go figure out what new people he can go sell his Mercedes Benz to. By the way, I don't have a Benz. I was just saying. But our pipeline resets at the beginning of every month. Our opportunity resets, you guys. Your momentum starts with what you do this week. So if you have a pen and paper, you guys, the first 10 days of every month, and this is how I was able to figure out the psychology behind making sure every month I was depositing a certain amount of income because I just like paid attention to the amount of numbers in the month. I mean, the amount of days in a month. There's 31 to 29 to 30 days in a month, right? So because of that, every single month, the first 10 days, this is a hack. This is a cheat code, but I would strive my hardest to help 10 families with a policy. Just like if I worked at the Mercedes-Benz dealership because I decided I wanted to be in sales and I said, "Oh, I want to be a car salesman." Just like we all on this call said, "Hey, I want to be a life insurance agent." It's the same exact thing. However, I know that if I were selling at the dealership, I would have to go out and re-help again and again to be able to reach my quotas. So I want to talk about how sales, this is important for us to know how sales is a system, right? Now, I have to keep it real. Like, it's honestly not magic, but it is a system. So the simple flow of it typically is leads, right? So leads are the amount of people that fill out a form that we look at on a piece of paper. So let's say I have a spreadsheet. I believe everybody on this call has probably seen a spreadsheet before. So just imagine on that spreadsheet, you see 100 people's names from the ages of 55 to 83. And then you see 100 of their names with their age groups, and then you see all their phone numbers, right? And then you see requested yesterday or requested 2 days ago. And then you see they listed their favorite hobby was bird watching and hanging out with grandchildren. So those are leads. Now, contacts are how many of those people that I call pick up the phone. That's a contact. This is the formula to 20 grand a month or more. Then presentations, right? So presentations come from, okay, so Miss Betty answered the phone because I had 100 leads, and then I'm contacting every single 100 person. Not everybody picks up. So I want you guys to be able to identify the difference between a contact in life insurance sales and a presentation. Actually, I don't want to explain it. Nia, do you feel like explaining the difference between a contact and a presentation?
Sure. Actual presentation is when you guys actually present the client a quote. And then the actual contact is, actually getting through majority of the script and not just a person that kind of picks up and just say, "Hey, I don't want to talk," and then hang up. I wouldn't really necessarily call that an actual contact because you really didn't, you know, get any information from them. So I would say a contact would be getting through the script, maybe through the discovery, and an the other one would be pretty much a presentation would be when you get actually present the quote to the client.
Period. That's it. So a contact is somebody that Miss Betty answered, hello, and I get through something, but I can't give her the prices. I didn't get to the point where I'm like, well, Miss Betty, if you want a $10,000 policy, it's $70. If you want a $12,000 policy, it's $73. And if you want a $14,000 policy, it's $75. And the reason why the clients are getting policies for the amount, if you're new, for 10,000, 12, or 13 is because they're already in their 60s or 70s. They've had life insurance in their past. Now they're at a point in their life where maybe they're on a fixed income that we only work with fixed income or social security or disability 100%. So what that means is these people get a fixed amount of money every month from the government. Maybe they get 3,500 a month, maybe they only get 1,200 a month. Some of my vets are 100% disabled veterans, so they'll get 6 grand a month between all of their social security, disability 100%, and maybe retirement. Or sometimes they'll get 7 grand a month. Those are the people that are able to say, "Hey, I want 50 grand," and they're 70 years old, and they're paying us, not us, but the company, like $400 a month. They're picking $400, $500 premiums, right? That's when you'll probably see somebody post in the chat, $4,000 sale in 45 minutes. Nia does it all the time. Or she'll do a $2,000 sale in 45 minutes. It's not because the client got anything different. It's just because her client is spending $250, $300 because they have a little more to afford. So again, the reason why they're picking 10, 12, or $13,000 policies is because these are elderly people who are just wanting to make sure their family, write this down if you need, doesn't have to do a GoFundMe. If you ever feel like not doing the business because it's not working out, just say these things to yourself. GoFundMe, fish fry, phone raiser. There's people every day having to do those three things, right? Unfortunately, or if you've seen it, I don't know if you have, but Nia, one time I was driving to get food from a restaurant in a city that we're familiar with, and it's called Kissimmee, Florida. And this lady was standing on the side of the road. I kid you not. The sign said, "Need to raise money for son funeral." And it was a picture of a probably 6-year-old boy, 5-year-old boy, or GoFundMe's, you guys. So, like, think about it like that. There's so many people who want to make sure their kids aren't having to take 20 grand or 15 grand out of pocket within a 24-hour period to put them to rest properly because they passed away unexpectedly. In the industry that we're servicing, we're not servicing the clients that are like, I want a 500,000 in coverage. Those are a different type of clientele. But I preferably love the final expense market. So anyhow, presentations is simply you were able to share the price. Now the formula says how many presentations do you need to do to write an application? So for me, when I first started, I typically had to do 4 to 6 presentations to get one sale. Now I can do one presentation and get a sale, literally. Sometimes I have to do 3 presentations to get a sale. But imagine how beautiful that is, being able to pick up the phone eventually. I didn't always start off like this. Somebody filled out a form. I call them. I just contact them like the formula says. I got the lead. I did the contact. I gave them the presentation. They picked the option and I wrote them a policy. And because of that, the insurance company says, "Hey, Kaitlynn, because you helped out Miss Betty, I'm going to put a deposit in your bank account." So there's no mystery here. It's truly just metrics. So when you start doubting yourself or saying things like, "I don't know if this is for me," well, I want you to look at your calendar and then I want you to re-ask yourself, did I really like put in the work, or did I expect it just to like work out in the snap of fingers, maybe like a magic trick? But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So every one of us should know our ratios. What does that mean, Kaitlynn? Well, if you're not just, you don't want to just be the person that's just like throwing things out the wall, okay? Because this is truly a opportunity to eventually build a big business. As you guys know, there's 4 quadrants of people. You have self-employed, you have the business owners, you have employees. And yeah, so again, when you become a licensed life insurance agent, you're not necessarily a 100% business owner, right? Like technically we're self-employed. We work for ourselves, right? So because of that, you need to know your ratios. You need to be able to track your daily activity. So at the end of this call, you'll be able to see how I tracked. But Nia, if you want to be able to share, how is somebody able to like know their ratios or track their activity?
Really, you just kind of write down pretty much what you're saying. For me, myself, I just make sure that I contact. So it's really about having enough contacts of people to speak with. So I know you're probably going to get into it a little bit more in depth down in the presentation here. But at least like about 300 dials, 300 dials, and then we try to do at least 4 presentations to be able to have. For me, I generally say I want at least submit 2 applications a day or at least 5 in a week. That's just my goal. I may actually push it up a little bit because I've been having that for a few months now. But that's just my conscience for me. I'm like, okay, I got to do at least 5 in a week. So in my book, you'll see, just like I kind of, mimic with KB, where I highlight the number of policies that I submit through the week, and then in the corner on the right hand or left hand corner, I write the number of policies. So when I'm looking through my book, I can see, okay, well, this week I did 8 policies. This week I did 2 policies. Okay, this week, now I see these 2 weeks I've gotten just 2 policies. I need to make sure that I'm more focused and more intentional this third week so I can make sure I reach my goal.
That's it. That's all. Like, and Nia, like, who had to tell you to like that's what you had to do? Like, I'm just like, just where'd that come from? What made you do that?
I mean, it's me because I wanted to have what I wanted to have. Like, I mean, we can tell you guys, but we can't actually do the work for you. We can tell you, how to do it, but if you want it, then you have to sit and do it. Like I was really playing around with my own potential for a while and just trying to do half, and I don't mean that custom, but half-assing it, so to say, as my grandma would say. But then I was like, you know what? In order for me to get to where I want to get to, I need to actually sit and do what I need to do. And so it takes discipline. I'm just gonna be honest, like me starting to fast, like I'm fasting actually now. I fast once a month, the beginning of the month to start the month off. It helps build my discipline. So that's one of the things, you have to be disciplined with yourself.
You have to be disciplined and you have to want it. Like, unfortunately, I don't think, once you understand the process, you may say you want the 20 grand a month. You might say you want 10 grand a month. You might just say, hey, Kaitlynn, or hey, Nia, hey, Michael, hey, Jalen, hey, Damon, hey, friend, hey, mom, hey, dad. Like, I'm happy with my 7K I make a month with my corporate position. However, I don't like how I have to spend so many hours to collect that. So it's really just the true question is like, how bad do you really want it? And Nia is somebody who said, I wanted it bad. So all I did was, hey Nia, like this is what we do. Like we get these leads and we dial them. We sit on our butts from this hour to this hour, but it's better than sitting in a cold office and working for Mr. John that, says I'm only worth 15 to $25 an hour. That's just like so much more worth it. I rather work for me than somebody else, right? So again, when you become a life insurance agent, you're still a self-employed person, but you can build yourself out to be a business owner eventually, right? Somebody who actually owns a business. Um, so again, your results are data, they're not drama, right? If you want to fix your income, I agree and I believe, right, that you want to track what you're doing on a day to day. So if you're just getting started, just put on in you're brand new and you say on a Sunday night, I'm going to go 8 hours tomorrow. Like, just be honest with yourself. Just tell yourself, I'm going to go 3 hours and that's it. Put it on your calendar and don't do anything else. Because if you want to fix your income, now you got to track your inputs. And you can't track your inputs, you guys, if you aren't focused. Okay. So, 3 areas that we should focus on mastering this month, you guys. We want to lock in these 3 areas. And I think this will move the needle for you guys this month, even for myself. So, the first thing is sitting and dialing. Like, when you guys hit me up, if I introduced you to the opportunity, now if Damon, Mike, Jalen, Lois, Nia, somebody else, but if I introduced you to the opportunity, I specifically told you, because I don't lie, that I buy leads and I sit on my butt and I dial. I never said that I never said anything else. So that's what we do. We be intentional with our lead flow. So the first thing you want to master is being able to like sit down and actually dial. Can you give yourself 3 hours, Tim? 3 hours max with your batch of leads that you have to go through 3 hours. Now, in that 3 hours, does that mean you can't go potty? That's not true. Does that mean you can't take a coffee break? That is not true. You know how many times when I was living at home, when I was selling insurance for my mom's house, that I would be like, let me go get my smoothie real quick. Literally leave the house. But I did more than 3 hours. But I would leave the house, come back. Like I was just focused though. Like when I left the house, I didn't start talking to my girlfriends and my guy friends like, "Oh my God, guess what happened yesterday? And did you see that on Facebook?" Like, no, I was intentional. When I would get in the car, I would put on my motivation, something to get my mind off of dialing, something like a podcast to put my mind in a space to remind me why I'm doing what I'm doing. Or maybe it's just simply as calling my kids and looking in their eyes and seeing like, wow, like this is who I'm doing it for. This is why I shine. This is why I do the things the way I do, right? Whatever that could be. So, first things first is sitting and dialing, sitting and dialing, sitting and dialing. So, if I introduced you to the opportunity, I didn't tell you that you can't sit and dial because that's how you do the business. That's how you become successful temporarily, right? So, again, now we have to understand it takes energy when I'm talking to Miss Betty, who's 73 on the phone, who talks as slow as a turtle. It takes energy. It takes patience. It takes understanding that this could be my grandma. Because I remember before my grandma passed, she was old and she took a minute to get things out. And I would be mad if somebody didn't have the proper energy on the phone with her because she was older. These clients are older. You want energy, you want patience. Now, you want clear CTA. I like to say you want to be able to identify um, the day and time and urgency and positioning as well. So when I say clear CTA, your clear time, day and time. Okay, on this day from this time to this time, I'm contacting my client, right? My clients that I have, potential clients. Now, I want to understand that urgency and positioning is really important. Okay, so let's say I know that I want to create, let's just say I start this opportunity as of August, and I told myself that I have a son in high school. He's a senior this year, and I have to make enough money so he can go to prom, pay for his. This is just an example. Homecoming. I don't know. Maybe your child is only 4 years old, and you just want to be able to take your child to Disney World or give them an experience that maybe you didn't have when you were younger. So urgency and positioning is very important so you can get to the next phase of life. You guys, we are not here for a long time. We don't have time to waste. And our tomorrow's never promised. So with any opportunity that I have, I want to understand that I need to create urgency and positioning so I can get to what's next. Now, the next thing you guys will understand is presenting with authority. Keeping it simple, which is a script. When you guys come aboard, when you go through new agent training, or if you haven't already started, you'll find out that there's a script we follow. We show confidence. And it's easy to show confidence when you tell yourself, when I'm calling my client who filled out a form, I like to say my client. You see how I'm already saying in existence, it's my client when I haven't even sold them yet. But when I'm calling this person that filled out the form, I'm showing confidence because they don't know that I'm following a script, one. They don't know that the call is supposed to be frameworked by a script, two. So, like, if I flumble or stutter a little bit, it's okay. I still need to show confidence because I need to stick to my structure of my script so I don't lose authority, right? Or get hung up on, or them start thinking I'm a scam or because I don't really know my stuff. Now, the third thing that we want to master this month is closing our clients. So, closing our clients has a lot to do with assuming the sell, okay? Using carrier authority, and closing with purpose. Okay. So closing with purpose is truly just following the script, not like, so Miss Betty, based off the 10,000, 20, 15 for 50, 40, and $20, which one do you want? No, that's not closing with purpose. Miss Betty, you told me at the beginning of the call that you were worried about your son Michael being able to cover the expenses for the burial because when your husband passed away 5 years ago, you guys had to take out a loan to properly bury him. Is that correct, Miss Betty? Okay. Now, because did that, I wanted, told me that I did come up with these options here. Now, for your son, you can do AAA. You see the difference? Like totally different type of purpose. I'm actually bringing up why they asked for the coverage, why they reached out. Then I'm asking them which option they want. So when you're in the sales industry, there's objections, but there's also understanding that objections are truly opportunities. So sometimes when we call people and people request the information, sometimes we'll go through a presentation and they'll say something like, let me think about it. If you are on this call today and you've ever had a client tell you, let me think about it, let me know. Drop a 2 in the chat. Drop a 2 in the chat. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Drop a 2 in the chat. Drop a 2 in the chat. Oh, I see the 2s in the chat. I see the 2s in the chat. Hey, guys. Hey. Okay. 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 I see you guys. So, really quick, can I pause? I want to talk about the keep it simple part of this presentation. When I said the script, just really quick, you guys understand that like we're not overselling. Never on the phone do I oversell, but I'm not winging it either. I'm just sticking to that structure I told you about down here. So you do have to show confidence. Confidence, if you want to write down, equals builds trust because we're able to focus on the solution for the client. So we keep it simple. We want to build trust and we want to focus on the solution. Now, the stick to structure is simply just be the professional. You are the expert. These clients all day long will ask you one simple question that might throw you off the script, and that's okay. Yes, Miss Betty, my dog is pink. Now, you mentioned earlier you were concerned about would you like to be buried or cremated? Like, you see how I acknowledge what Miss Betty said? She asked what color my dog is because somebody, like, sometimes when you're brand new and you're picking up the phone, you're going through your script, they'll say things and it throws you off. But you want to be the professional because you're the expert. Answer their question, acknowledge, oh, yeah, I have a dog too. His name is Oscar and he's pink. No, not literally pink. I just spray painted. I got the hair. The dog died. It's healthy, Miss Betty. It's healthy for him. It's not gonna hurt him. So you're the expert. Now, closing the client with confidence. You never ask, assume the sell. And the reason why it says use carrier authority, because I want you guys to understand that, inside of talking to these clients, typically I say, based on your age and health, Nia, the best company for you is going to be Americo. Okay. So that's kind of what that was there. Now, when I talked about objections or opportunities, you guys, don't run, okay? Lean into your objections. This is the biggest thing that will keep people from getting to the next level in their sales career. Now, if you feel like you struggle with objections in insurance, you will have objections in real estate. You will have objections in the car sales industry and the tax industry and the you know selling makeup industry, selling product industry, or service based industry. Objections are everywhere, but don't run, lean into them. So when somebody says let me think about it, I love to say, like, of course, Nia, hey, really quick, while I'm checking my calendar for the next available day, because I know you need some time to think about it, what is it that you need to think about? That way I can add some notes into your email. So when we get back on our call next week, I'll have all your questions answered. Let them tell you, yeah, Kaitlynn, like I just need a little more information on like how it works, or yeah, it's just a little too expensive. Like, can you just send me the prices? I have to talk it over with my husband. Awesome. So you told me that it's a little too expensive, Miss Betty. Okay, because now I'm repeating what they said to me. Or you told me that you don't really understand how it works. And now I'm about to use it against them. Okay. Now, Miss Betty, earlier in the call, you told me that you were concerned about taking care of your burial so your son John wouldn't have to pay out of pocket. Is that correct? Okay. Now, when I asked you, God forbid something happened to you like yesterday, You said that John would literally be like literally have nothing to do. Like you don't even know what would happen. Is that right, Miss Betty? Okay. Now, you said you don't understand how it works. I'm just trying to understand what you mean by that because you said that you wanted to make sure you could do a burial over the cremation. Is that right? Okay. And I'm literally using this against it. And to you guys, it might sound a little sarcastic. Sometimes sales is sarcastic. I'm sorry. Like, I would want somebody to be real with my grandma to make sure if she passed, me or my parents didn't have to like come out of pocket on the worst day of our life. And guess what? My grandma had coverage, so we didn't have to. But why would we be okay with Miss Betty doing that to her children if you wouldn't want your parents to do that to you? Or you wouldn't want that done to your children, your own children. So it's just about using it against them, using what they told you against them. Like, I understand that, but you told me this. Like, can you help me understand that better, Miss Betty? Pause. Well, she's gonna start stuttering. All right, Miss Betty, let's go ahead and see if you get approved. She's just a smoke screen. It's a smoke screen. So another objection that we get is like, I need to talk to my spouse. Absolutely. I would love for you to go ahead and talk to your spouse. Let's go ahead and apply it just so it's in place. And if anything needs adjusting, we can take care of it together. Or, Miss Betty, you said you wanted to talk to your spouse, correct? Okay. Okay. Now, I remember at the beginning of the call, you told me that you were concerned about if you passed away, your spouse having to pay for this. Is that right, Miss Betty? Okay. Okay, that's right. Okay. So, what if your spouse says, no, Miss Betty, are you not going to get it? I, I'm just confused because earlier you stated you didn't want him to be financially burdened. So, what if he says, oh, don't worry about it? Then what do you do? I thought it was for him. Right? Now, I would say it in that way, but I would be able more just I would pay attention to how she's responding. If she's making sounds in the background like, yeah, like then I would say something right back to her, like, yeah, Miss Betty, like I don't, what is there to ask him? This was for him, right? You know, guilty conscience maybe. So confidence converts, indecision kills. Okay. Is it skill or mindset? Oh, wrong one. That's from last week. Focused action challenge this week, you guys. That's from the last week. For that slide was from last week presentation. Focused action challenge this week, family. Okay. Now, if you're new to the opportunity, obviously this isn't for you. Kind of just got a little feel of what a skill set calls like. Now, when we do our call next week and it's about mindset, we're not going to talk anything about dial, selling, or presentations or life insurance lead. So just understand tonight was skill set. So, focused action challenge this week is telling you you want to do 300 dials or 4 presentations or submit at least 2 applications. If you can do that, whether you're new or not, just if you can do that, not even tomorrow, but if you think for yourself you could do 300 dials to present to 4 people to submit 2 applications and make what somebody would make in 2 weeks in a day, would you do that? Just drop I will in the chat. Now, track and record every call is important. So, if you're new to this, this is kind of what we do. We do 300 hours a day, or we'll present to 4 people, or we submit at least 2 applications a day, or we'll track and record every single call at the same time. That's super important because what gets tracked grows. And again, earlier we said a presentation equals you got all the way to the prices. Contact means you did not share the price. So does that mean that let's just say your first 90 days in this business, 3 months, it's you have to do $300 for 3 months every day. Not like it takes an hour to go through 300 people. It seems like it would take forever, but it doesn't. And then let's just say out of the 300, all I contacted was 30. And out of the 30, I was able to get 20 people, 15 people to answer out of the 30. And out of the 15 people that answered, I was able to do 7 presentations. And out of those 7 presentations, I was at least able to submit 2 applications. Like it's all metrics and it's a numbers game. Okay. So this was what I was willing to take on because I was a struggling single mom who said, I'd rather do this than clock into a job every day. I want to go drop my kids to school and come home to my home office, which at the time was my mom's house in my bedroom. And I was okay with sitting on my butt and dialing 300 dials. I was okay with people picking up and doing 4 presentations so I can submit 2 apps, so I can change the trajectory of my family tree, right? So execution beats excuses every single time. I encourage you this week to take inventory, right? Take this week seriously. Your first 10 days of August, shoot for 10 grand. And you're going to be able to do that by following the system. Don't wait to be motivated because motivation runs out. There was one person, oh, actually, they're not on this call. I'll tell you in a second. You want to show up, dial, dominate. We don't wait for results, we create them. What I said was don't wait for motivation. Nia, keep that question. I'm going to explain that to them. I want you guys to look at this calendar real quick. See that? See that? Now, I somebody on this call. Let's see here. Anybody, unmute and tell me. I want you to look at December of 2024. I told you guys I started this opportunity in August. No, I started in September. No, I'm tripping. I started in 6 months before this picture, in ish. I started like in June. Okay. And then, no, I started in July and then August. No, I started in June. Like my first month was mid-June. But I was brand new, baby, brand new, like 2, 3 weeks in, mid-June. So by December, this is kind of like I just kind of picked random calendar pictures because I don't preach what I don't talk. Okay. How they say? Like, I got receipts. Okay. I got results. Okay. You can't tell me that it don't work, honey. Can't tell me. You didn't know it didn't work for you. Big difference. Sorry. It works. But what did I do? I tracked my sales. I took inventory. I didn't wait to be motivated. You know how many times I was angry about living at home with my parents? How many of you guys been angry and lived life angry? Just went about life angry. Don't talk to me. Listen, this lady in the driveway at this McDonald's, she better not have an attitude because now I'm gonna feel some type of way. Well, you shouldn't have gotten a job here if you're so mad about taking my order. Like anything would tick me off. Anything would make me upset. You know why? Because I wasn't financially where I needed to be. I was stressed out all the time. I was always under pressure and I had kids to take care of. I walked around angry. Listen, angry, don't listen, angry. Just one of those negative Nancy's, like, oh, why they looking like that? Oh, why they looking at me? Just go to the store. The store didn't have pull-ups. How y'all out of pull-ups? Like, that is so ghetto. Like, girl, they got pull-ups. Go to the next store. Why are you mad at them? The truck obviously didn't come, Kaitlynn. Like, I used to be angry before I got in the insurance industry, right? I didn't wait for motivation, y'all. Like, I used to be so angry, y'all. If somebody did something on the street, I would grab whatever is in my car and throw it at their car. Bad road rage, road rage. This was like when I was 20. So I was angry. I was that early mom, 2 kids, didn't know what to do. I was just angry. Like, honestly, some of you guys are angry right now. Like, I know we're not all just happy, shining, and an array of happiness. Some of you on this call could be in a place of anger, but like, you don't want to wait on motivation. Just show up. Show up mad, show up angry, show up unhappy, show up upset. Just show up. Now, in this calendar, I can't believe you. So that was a story for me when I was early 20s, by the way. Like I was 19, probably like nothing I would do now. Okay. Nothing I would do now, by the way. That was old, just anger for no reason, just angry for nothing, just angry. Shanti. Like, oh, I was angry. Like, I was so mad. Like, why is she so nice? Like, why are they being so nice for? I'm mad. So, anyways, if you look at this calendar, remember I picked 2 random months in my calendar. So, if you can see on December 30th, this was 5 days after Christmas. Most people were enjoying the holiday. They was some New Year's Eve out of town, traveling. Me, I said, I'm going to work because I don't have no money. I had a little money, but I needed to keep grinding and I need to keep going. See, sometimes you got to grind. You don't want to grind and hustle forever. That's not what life is about at all. But when you start something, you might have to temporarily do so. So if you can see on December 30th, there was a call at 9 o'clock. And then at 10:30, I had a call with a client, Felicia Chorizo. She was on my calendar. Obviously, maybe December 20th, she said, hey, call me on Monday next week. So that's why she says she's on my calendar for 10:30 on December 30th. Dan, he was on my calendar for 11 o'clock on December 30th. Maybe he was like, yeah, call me at 11 on Monday sometime. Nope, they didn't sell. Nothing here. Billy Ray, 12 o'clock, right? And then at 12:30, I'm dialing. I'm dialing. As you can see, I'm dialing. Oh, look. And I had to go get an oil change at 2 o'clock. Then I had a client call at 2:30, but it looks like I crossed it out. So that means I didn't call him, it didn't go well, or I didn't sell it. And then at 2 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, I started dialing. And mind you, the kids was on Christmas break. If you're a mom, you can recognize this is Christmas break. That's how I was able to dial from 2 to 3, right? And as a mom who has to take her kids back and forth to school, there's no excuses. You can still make this work because I did it every day. So here at 4 o'clock, you can see I dialed somebody again and I closed him for $1,841.40 with Gerber. Guess what? I dialed again. I dialed again. I dialed again. I didn't sell. So the highlight means closed policies, meaning on the 31st on December, I closed James after I dialed for 2 hours straight. Somebody finally let me give him a presentation, apparently. And I closed him for $2,326.04. And then at 1 o'clock, I kept dialing. At 1:30, I kept dialing. At 2 o'clock, I kept dialing. If you don't know what that means, dialing, that means that we have a list of leads and my phone's just ring, 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 ring to the people's phone. Ring, 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 ring until they answer and let me present. So at 3 o'clock, I paused and then I came back for 5, 6, didn't sell nothing. And then down here, you can see I did 3 presentations and I contacted 3 people. But out of those 3 contacts and 3 presentations, I only closed 1 person. So it took me to go through 3 times sharing prices for 1 person to say yes. How many times are you willing to go through a no till you can get a yes is the question. Look, Wednesday, there was no morning call. For whatever reason, Mike and Jalen said it's New Year's Day. We're not doing it. So I didn't join, but I said, I'm a dial. So I started dialing at 10. I dialed all the way to 1, didn't close nothing. I took a break at 2, 3, 4, had some clients at 5 and 6. And look, I put no sales, but I contacted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people answered the phone, but only 2 people allowed me to share with them the prices. All right. Came back Tuesday. This is consistency. Like, you can't say this business doesn't work if your schedule don't look like this. And even if you're part-time in this business, that's fine. Your 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock better look like my 8 to 8, right? Like, we're not here to make this seem like this is easy. I never told you guys. I just take a picture and post it on social media and ask people do they want a policy, and that's how I made 20 grand a month. Never once did I said that. I said I dial people. I said I contact leads and I work from home. That's what I said when I talked to you. So, number 2, January 2nd, 2025. I think. Yeah, 2025. Look, I had a call with Nia at 8 o'clock. Hey, Nia. And then at 9 o'clock, there was a morning call. And then at 9:30, straight on the phones. 10 o'clock on the phones. 11 o'clock. Now I did a sale before 12. Now, if you start dialing by 9 or 8, you should sell before 12, possibly. Right? So I closed Diana Freeman for $700. I'm purposely moving slow on this because I just want you guys to see, like, the purpose of this. At 12 o'clock, I dialed again. At 12:15, I dialed. Listen, I was here to change my life. I wasn't here to collect $700 and go about my day and say, "Ooh, I made $700. Yeah." No, my goal was to make money and keep dialing and help more people because I have goals to reach. And 10, 15, 20 grand a month ain't going to do it for me with the goals I have, unfortunately. Right? So, 3 o'clock, I called and I sold Garius Bell. It was a $300 policy. I dialed at 7 o'clock. Cook dinner. Hey, mom. Hey, mom's on this call. I promise you can make it happen. Look, you cook dinner. Now, at Friday, 8 o'clock, I had morning devo, just morning devotional. And then I didn't do nothing from 9 to 10. Got on a team call, finally closed somebody for $1,405.20. And then on Saturday, I worked. I closed somebody for $1,900. Y'all, how much money did I make the week after Christmas? How much money did I make? Because I sat my butt down and I dialed. How much money did I make? Somebody drop it in chat. What do you think? Those numbers I was just sharing. Nia thinks I made over 5K. What do you guys think that week looked like for me? So it looks like that week, Ethos 1900 plus 1400 plus American Amical 1700. Gerber doesn't, Gerber's like on Gerber's a guaranteed issue product. And you guys see on Monday and Tuesday I wrote Gerber. So I should have made a good 5 grand between my 1400, my 1900, my 700, and my $372. Right? The other GERP month policy from Monday and Tuesday, it's a guaranteed issue, right? So it still pays me money, by the way, guys. Like I didn't sell $2,000 for nothing, but it pays me as earned versus in advance because it's guaranteed issue. That client either had cancer or HIV, and that's why they had to go guaranteed issue, or they had like heart failure. Now let's look at July of 2024. This was 6 months before December. So look, Monday, Leo to school. This was daycare school. 8 o'clock, I went to the gym. Mind you, we're in summertime in this schedule. So this was Christmas break. As a mom, this is summertime as a mom. I went to the breakfast club every Monday at 9 o'clock. You guys were still doing breakfast clubs. Then I was dialing at 10, 11. I don't know what happened at 12. I dialed at 1. He canceled on me. Dials, follow ups, submitted a policy for I don't know how much because I didn't write the price on July. And then Tuesday, I closed the client for 3. On Wednesday, I closed 3 families, right? So it looks like I dialed from Breakfast Club, DSA for Leo. So I had to go to my son's school for whatever. And then at 11, it said Zoom IUL 1030. By 12, I was dialing and I probably worked till 8. And that's how I was able to close 3 families. And then on Wednesday, I checked on clients. 90-day fast track is it still on Thursdays? No, they used to be on Thursdays, guys. Now they're on Wednesdays. Um, dial, closed a term policy at 2, closed the policy at 5, and then didn't work on this day because I take my son to do blood work because he has kidney disease. So they track his electrolytes monthly. He's stable, no dialysis, thank God. But we do blood work every 3 to 6 months because of that. So I was able to take this day off and hang out with, take the baby to do his thing. And then Saturday, I dialed and it looks like I closed a family Saturday. So I didn't mean to like talk through this like super, super slowly the way I just did, right? But I wanted you guys to see like the possibility. Not even the possibility, just to see the purpose. Like everything I shared on the call today is what I did, right? So I didn't take somebody else's notes and put them with mine. I literally went by what I was able to create in my life, right? And it takes a certain amount of grit, and it takes a certain amount of discipline, you guys, to truly say, like, hey, I'm gonna sit here for 3 hours and dial and then take a break. And then I'm gonna sit here for another 3 hours. Like there was times I felt like I was neglecting my boys. Like I was like, man, like, but they had food, we live in a nice place. They have water. And when it was time to cut off the computer, I gave them all my attention. So, like if you're a mom, you might feel guilty, spending time away from your kiddo. I can relate to that. But your child is the big reason why you're doing this, family, if you are a parent. So, use your child. You want to be able to use your baby and your children and your loved ones, husband, your wife, your mother, your grandmother. You want to be able to use that to fuel you. And I want to share something with you guys, and then I'm going to open it up for questions and answers, or comments, concerns, or feedback. But I truly believe, you guys, that you have to, I guess, let me say it like this. You have to realize, you guys, that your life has to become better than what it is right now. And honestly, it begins with a shift. Um, I believe it's important to know that you deserve better than what you currently have right now. So I don't know where you currently are, right? I don't know what you currently have, and I don't know what you currently want specifically. But I believe that we all deserve better than what we currently have. That doesn't mean we're not grateful. That doesn't mean we're not filled with gratitude, but we are deserving of more. And whoever you are and whoever is listening to this, I want you guys to know you are not your current circumstance, right? So if you know my story a little bit, or my testimony that I've shared with you guys many times, I wasn't I am not that person. Like that circumstance of my life is not like who I am. So wherever you are right now, I don't want you to feel as if you are your current circumstance, because you are not. I want you guys to know that you will begin to attract things that you never knew you could. Because there's a lot of things in my life that I started to attract that I never knew I was able to, that I thought was way far out of my reach, family. But you have to trust God and believe that you deserve a shift. Like you truly have to believe that you deserve a shift, family. Like you have to believe you deserved it. I remember when I was like, wait a second, I want to be an example of adversity. And I don't know what adversity you're facing as a mom, a father, a friend, a sibling, a loved one, somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, right? Somebody's aunt, somebody's niece, right? But be an example of adversity. My goal is to be an example and to continue to be an example of adversity. I will tell you guys quick what eh, I am not the one to compare, like, oh, my struggle to your struggle. But if you sit here, I am very quick to say, dang, I remember when I was here. Like, there's no reason why you can say it's not possible or tell me it's not easy. It is. It's doable. It's not going to be easy or pretty, you know? But it's doable and it's possible. But do you really want to do it? Is the question, right? Because when my son was having a seizure and I was getting phone calls while I was sitting home trying to dialing, and I had to go pick him up and rush him to the hospital, rush him to the ER. And the first time he had a seizure, you guys, I freaking flipped out because I'm gonna be honest, I thought he was dying. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, he was quiet, he was like really lethargic, his eyes was in the air. I'm like, he's shallow breathing, but that was a different situation compared to the ones he started to have later. But there was plenty of times I could have said, yeah, Mike and Jalen, like, yeah, my son's like disabled and I don't really have time. I have to take him to the doctor. I have to take my kids to school. I have to cook dinner. I have to be a mom. Like I I'm the person like does don't have time for weak. It's weak to me. Like I know I put on makeup and I come off a little feminine, but to me it's like weak. It's weak. Like it doesn't make you masculine in any way. It comes off weak. It is hard But that's selfish of me to say, I'm just going to not do what I need to do today because my son had a seizure, when no, I need to keep fighting for the life that I deserve so I can continue to be more able and capable of doing the things that he needs me to do. Whether that's hire the nurse that's going to charge me $1,000 an hour to come to my house in Beverly Hills to watch my baby, or my child that's going to be 10. Yeah. Like, that's going to cost a lot of money. But how am I going to do that when I work a 9 to 5? Or if I'm settling for 6 grand a month or 10 grand a month, I'm not going to be able to take care of the people that I love. I'm going to struggle, and I'm going to be that person that's like, man, like I have all these people to take care of and it's just so tough. Like, it wouldn't be tough if I could just continue to figure out how to change my trajectory so I can change their trajectory. Period, point blank. So be the example of adversity. You want to be able to show gratitude no matter your current situation. So remember when I said I was angry all the time? Yeah, I was angry all the time and bad things kept happening to me. Like, I would lose my ID. Oh, now I'm even more angry. Like, it'd be the little things. Oh, I got a nail in my tire. Oh my God. I just had a bad day. I got a nail in my tire. Like, show gratitude no matter your current situation. You know why? Because let me tell you why. Because when I lack gratitude, it's probably because I'm only focused on myself. So take the focus off myself. I wrote this down. And the reason why is because I personally believe that my God, like the God that I believe in, I don't think that he appreciates when I'm not in gratitude. So I had to change my attitude when I was living at home. I had to go from being an angry person to I am blessed. And it was real, it wasn't fake. It took a lot of like sitting down, journaling, spending time alone, becoming like putting my ego down. I don't have an ego anymore. Like, I will tell you my story, and like people with ego don't want you to know nothing. They just want you to think they're biggest and baddest. No, you're gonna know where I came from. You're gonna know my story because I want you to know it's possible for you, because if it's possible for one, it's possible for another, right? So I truly believe you guys show gratitude no matter what current situation you're in. You'll realize the more you show gratitude in these evil times, or in this ugly, cruel time that we're in this world, where a lot of people are not understanding, and a lot of people are just not aware, and a lot of people are not searching, they're not seeking, and they're not trying to find, right? And a lot of that comes within spirit and within self. They're just not trying to find. So if you are a believer, especially if you're a believer, show gratitude no matter what your current situation is, because our Father, right? He wants to see how we're stewarding our situation properly and how we're handling it. And can we stand in the rain? Because he stood in the rain plenty of times for us. So we want to understand that comparison, you guys, is the thief of all joy. Okay. I believe that comparison, you don't look at me. Don't look at Nia, who's been doing this right, like for since she said 2023, since me 2023, who's been in the room since 22 years old. Don't compare yourself, because comparison is the thief of all joy. You want to make your mind that nothing will stop you, right? And you want to ask yourself, who will this benefit, family? Who will you benefit from accomplishing your goal? Who will be affected by you and your goals if you give up? Who will suffer if you don't keep fighting? Who will struggle? Now, I want you guys to be able to look at every single adversity in your life, right? I want you to be able to look at adversity. And when you're looking at adversity, you guys, I want you guys to and ask, challenge as if challenge yourself, like as if God was asking you, like, how bad do you really want it? Right? So, like, I'm in a situation of adversity today, but I know God is spirit. How bad do you really want it? My son, my children, my mom, my dad, right? I believe that it's about the person you have to become. So you need to grow, family. You need to read books, family. You need to listen to audios, family. Self mastery is game changer, right? Self mastery is game changer, because the real question is, who do you align with? Who is in your environment, fam? I believe you're a product of your environment. And when you get your mental focus on point, you guys, it's game over, right? I want you guys to ask yourself and write it down and remember every day that you might feel like giving up. Who will be blessed by my success? Not what can I buy with my success? Who will be blessed with by my success? Because the next level of our life and the next question you want to see is who you're going to be walking with. Because the real thing is, and the real understanding, family, and this might be a little elevated for some or over the heads for some, but don't let this go over your head. But some people are here for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. But I believe the law of honor, being able to accept and attract leadership, like you guys don't have to be a leader to, like, you don't have to serve a masses of people to be a leader. You can just be a leader in your house. You can be the, I'm, to me, I feel like in my home, I'm the leader. I am straight up. With my mom, my dad, my kid, I lead this thing. Listen, this is what we're about to do. We're about to pull our Bibles out today. We're about to listen to some positive mind. Listen, I'm leading this thing. You want to continue to be that person and you want to show the ones you love and the ones that you want to continue to do business with. This is something that I learned, right? This is how I have amazing connections with people because I understand the law of honor, right? And I believe that to create the result, you have to continue to go after what it is that you want and understand that it goes from salesperson, you know, you're a salesperson to a relationship builder to a people builder, right? So within our clients, we're not just here to sell them, but we're here to build a relationship with them. And we're here to build the people. Like again, this is way bigger than life insurance sales size. Way bigger than life insurance sales. And one of the number one things, you guys, that I learned along my journey with my friends and with my family and with my business partners in the communities that I was connecting in was to keep striving for more no matter where you are right now. And that when times get hard and when things get ugly, um, you didn't come this far to come this far. And you didn't come this far to hold yourself back. You didn't come this far to stop right here. Right. So I want you guys to understand that this is a journey, right? This is the question is like, where am I going to be at 4 years from today? More so, and what does my next 12 months look like? And how much have I created? And how much success? And how many people did I help retire? And how many family members did I help? Or how many family members did I get to pay back? Or whatever that looks like for you. But the point is, like, give yourself time. Like, give yourself time and be patient with yourself. Give yourself time and be patient with self. This takes a minute to master, but once you master it, you'll never go broke again. Because I remember when my mentor Damon, he said, Kaitlynn, if you never want to be go broke another day in your life, like just get your life insurance license. Again, you guys, it's bigger than life insurance though. It's about the communities, the connections, the relationships, the environments, the people, the places, the energies that you're around. Because I remember coming from an environment where it was always low vibration. Everybody was angry. Everybody was mad. Listen, you don't want to look at nobody the wrong way. You don't want to step on their foot by accident. You don't want to take one of their cookies. You don't want to take a pack of their noodles. Whatever that looks like. Like you just want to make sure that you're you're doing what's right. You're not stepping on eggshells, and you don't want to step on eggshells within yourself. So, without further ado, you guys, before we end our call today, I want to end this call with any questions, comments, concerns, any feedback. Nia, do you want to come in and open up with anything or end us out with anything? Um, who? Let me see here. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, I'll just say a little bit. Just to piggyback off of what you were saying about believe, that's where it starts with believing in yourself. When you believe that you can do it, when you believe that you can achieve, like they say, believe you can achieve it. That's pretty much where it starts. The next thing would be know what you want, be serious about yourself, like be real with yourself. Like I literally had to be real with Nia, like Nia, really, what do you want? So be real with yourself, believe in yourself, set a goal, Even it's just a small goal, start small. I generally make a realistic goal so you can always exceed the goal. Don't be like, oh, I want to do 50K and you haven't even done five. Not saying that you can't because it's possible, but you really want to start with baby steps and just start a goal, set it realistic, and that way you'll exceed the goal. Then when you exceed the goal, then it'll give you that drive and that hunger, like, oh, I said 10 and I did 15. And then, okay, well, now I can do 20, you know, and then just discipline. It boils down to being disciplined, sitting down, setting your goals, sticking to the script, sticking to what you say you're going to do. Because at the end of the day, if you're not real with yourself and be disciplined and keep your word to yourself, then you can't keep your words to anyone else, honestly. And so that's basically where it stands. And then basically stand on business about your business. um, I always say that. You guys will hear me say that all the time because that's really what it is. Stand on business about your business, whether that's with your kids, with your family, and then everyone will start respecting it because at the beginning people feel like, yeah, you're a business owner. You can just stop when you want to. You can just come here. You can just do that. Yeah, you can, but who's gonna pay the bill? So you'll hear me say this multiple times. My family, even down to my son King, he'll tap on my office door like, "Mommy, are you on the phone with a client?" He knows, and my family, they'll ask to invite me somewhere, and they're like, "Hey, are you working Saturday? Or are you?" Yes, So at the end of the day, you got to stand on business about your business and just be, intentional, and that's really intentional about you. And that's really all I really wanted to say.
100%, absolutely. And I appreciate that. I agree. And I couldn't agree more with you, Nia. And again, you guys, this call tonight with Collective University was truly all about the skill set we need. Remember, it's August 3rd, and we're headed into 2026. That's how I like to look at it because it's the fourth quarter of the year. But that's not the point. The point is it's the top of the month, it's the top of the start. Just start, like wherever you are, just do it. Set your schedule, do what you can do for you, do what works for you. And if you're brand new, we're super excited to have you. And if you haven't came with us just yet, maybe you're in the process of getting your license, we're also super excited to have you as well. Next Sunday, we'll be having another call at 8 p.m. Eastern, but we're not going to do a skill set call. So just a heads up, every Sunday, the calls are going to be geared towards a different topic and a subject, but this is to help us grow in our skill, in our mindset, in our leadership, so we can attract people more naturally, so we can get clients easily and more naturally, just due to the person that we've been able to become. Now we are a person of just we attract. So without further ado, you guys, is there any questions, comments, concerns, or feedback? And if not, we'll go ahead and end out our call tonight.